My name is Frank Falzone. I'm a Senior Project Manager for Traffic Planning and Design, TPD.
My name is Sean Pence. I work at Traffic Planning and Design, TPD, and I am a highway design engineer.
Hi, Frank and Sean. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me today. I'm really interested in learning more about the FE exam and how it can benefit aspiring engineers. As you know, the FE exam is a crucial step for anyone starting out in engineering. I'd love to hear about your experience with taking the exam and how it has shaped your professional journey. Can you walk me through your experience taking the FE exam? When did you take it? And how did you prepare for it?
I took it in 2005, right after I graduated from Drexel. Classmates had said, I'm taking this, you should probably take it. I didn't know if I necessarily needed to study. I just knew, hey, I need to take this test. I signed up for a test. I knew it was open book. And being relatively recently graduated, I felt pretty confident in what the topics were. I studied as much as I felt was appropriate, took the test and luckily passed. But again, my experience was a bit different than it is now. It was in person, whereas now I think they're online.
I took it in 2016, so it was computer-based. I took the exam during my senior year. The professors at Temple, they did a good job stressing the importance of the exam, and the sooner that you can take it, the better.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend if there's a chance to take it in school or within a week or so of graduating, that'd be great. But anything longer than that, it might become gradually harder.
The advantages of taking the FE exam while you are still in school, a lot of the material is going to be fresh in your mind. You're mentally prepared for the challenge that you're about to face. The other advantage is that after graduation, you can take some time and enjoy life, go on vacation or whatnot before you start working full-time in the workforce.
How long did you dedicate to studying, and what resources did you find most valuable?
For me personally, I get the most out of doing practice exams and practice problems rather than just reading material. And I thought that did a really good job setting me up for taking the exam itself.
Use the resources you have in people too, for whoever had previously taken the exam, most recently taken an exam, and just ask them what tips they would give you for, a passing exam.
Can you share any strategies you use to effectively manage your time on the exam day?
Exam day tip number one would be prepared early, get there early so you're not rushing to take the exam. Have a process where maybe a couple times prior to the exam, you laid out what you're going to do that day, how you're going to operate, and eliminate any sort of outside impedance to it.
Get a good night's sleep the night prior. Wake up with enough time to get ready, to have a good meal before you head to the testing center. Just focus on the task at hand.
Were there any surprises regarding the format or content of the exam?
I wouldn't say that I found any surprises. I felt pretty prepared heading into the exam. The challenges of the exam was the first half of the FE, which is based on your first 2 years of college. So it's the more general math and science questions that you might face.
I didn't have an item tabbed out in my reference textbook, and the question came up exactly for that item. And I remember scrambling to find where it was. Led to me taking focus away from the greater aspect of finishing the exam where I could have came back to it. Something I wasn't prepared for and just how I reacted to it.
I'm curious. When you were 12, what did you want to be when you were older?
When I was 12 years old, I thought I was going to be in the NFL. So this isn't what I envisioned, but as I got a little bit older and realized that I wasn't that good at football, I always enjoyed construction of large scale things, buildings, roads, bridges, things that you drive by and see and are just like, wow. And I always wanted to be a part of that. And I think that stems from just background experience of my dad being a general contractor and building things with your hands and being able to see a tangible product at the end. Civil engineering seemed like a good way to get exposure to that, but also in a little bit more of a comfortable position where I'm not on my hands and knees building something every day.
I didn't know what I wanted to be when I was 12 years old. Anything other than I wanted to play for the New York Yankees. And if that didn't happen, well, then nothing else was going to happen. But then I just leaned on the example that my parents had. My mom was a registered nurse. My father was an electrician. So I always had that in the back of my mind that I was going to be professional in something. It just didn't turn out to be for the New York Yankees. It turned out to be a civil engineer, which is fine. I love it.
If you could go back in time, would you alter your preparation approach in any way?
one of the tweaks I would do is not to cram for an exam like this. That way you're not just burnt out once the exam comes. I can remember I crammed all of my studying into about a 2-week period, which I didn't think was too much, but I think I could have been spaced out a little bit more.
One thing that I will say post-exam is that I wish I kept my material in preparation for the PE exam, especially the second part of the FE. It's pretty much the first part of the PE. So keeping that information at your disposal so that when you're ready to start studying for the PE, you have it, I think is a good idea.
Do you believe the FE exam accurately reflects an individual's preparedness for an engineering career?
Yes, it will reflect that you're willing and wanting to become a professional engineer, but it doesn't guarantee it. It just means that you will put in the work that's needed and do what is required of you. It also shows that you have that dedication to our industry.
Did passing the FE exam contribute to your career advancement, such as promotions or project opportunities?
Yeah, it's enabled me to make connections, to get advice from mentors at TPD. In that way, it just helped initiate some conversations that aren't project specific for what I wanted moving forward.
Passing the FE has definitely helped advance my career. It set the next goal, which was to become a professional engineer. Working towards that goal once you become a PE, that has also opened many doors for me. I can be responsible for design, create plans, and stamp them. Passing the FE has led to passing the PE, which has led to having staff work under me and helped expand my role here at TPD.
Do you have any words of wisdom for aspiring engineers?
Do everything in your capability to just learn. A lot of engineers nowadays, even out of college, are working remotely, which is fine, but you have to be engaged. You have to ask questions. You have to be involved in conversations because that's the best way that you're going to learn. Just surround yourself with other people who are in the same situation as you or higher up that can help and guide and mentor you. Watch documentaries on YouTube on how buildings are made or whatnot. Broaden your horizon. The main thing is that you just want to be well-rounded as an engineer. You want to understand multiple concepts and principles, and you want to be able to manage a job from start to finish.
To keep it pretty simple is don't stop asking why for anything. If you get a comment on one of your design or your work, strike up the conversation on, okay, why did I do it this way? What could I have done better? What was somebody looking for? Just to try and learn and expand your skill set. The person you're asking, ask someone as well. It's very common and it goes around. Like that sharing of knowledge and wisdom for our industry is kind of what keeps movement forward in developing things more and more for engineers.
Would you recommend taking the FE exam to aspiring engineers?
Yes, 100%. I think it's a needed step to become a professional engineer. And it also helps you have a more sense of pride in the work you do. Not to say that you don't already, but it's going to give you like, hey, ultimately, I can put my name on that design. You can brag to people. Don't be afraid to brag. This is what we do, and we should be proud of it.
If you're serious about being a professional engineer, that you should take the FE exam. Don't be afraid of the exam. If it takes more than one try, it's not the end of the world. I would definitely sit for it as early as you possibly can. Manage your workload to provide time to study and sit down for the exam.
On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being I winged it, and 10 being I knew every single answer, how confident were you walking out of the exam?
My confidence level walking out of the FE exam was at a solid 3. I was preparing myself for the worst, but hoping for the best.
I wasn't a 3. I wasn't a 10. I was somewhere in the middle. I felt pretty good leaving the exam. I wasn't really nervous about it. I felt like my method of studying and preparing worked pretty well.
Thank you, Frank and Sean. This has been incredibly helpful. I appreciate you sharing your experiences and insights.
Thanks for the opportunity. It was great.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for your time.